Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning and welcome to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bruce Lee. My co-host with me today is Sid Roeder. Good morning,
Sid. Surprise.
Surprise. I'm not surprised. I'm happy.
Yes, I'm happy too to be here.
I always enjoy spending time with you doing this show and hopefully helping people out there. Today we have as our guest James Stevens, who's the funeral director for White Pine Funeral Services. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're really glad to have you. We're going to, before we get started talking with James, want to mention our sponsor. And who is that, Sid? And James is with them.
It's me to say who it is. So yes, and James is one of the sponsors. The sponsor of this show is the Empowering Seniors Group, which is a group of professionals like James and us that have gotten together to give information to seniors, their family members, and really anybody who cares. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. Or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. Or lastly, if you have any suggestions for this show, any guests you would like to see us invite, you can call me personally at 435-512-6406.
Thank you, Sid, and thank you, James and White Pine, for being members of the Empowering Seniors Group and helping us to put the show on. If you're listening and don't know, we have to pay for airtime to put the show on, and so we have the group that comes together to help us to do that. And the purpose of the group is to help get information out there to the community so people know what services are available, what is happening out there, how to access these services, and do it in a way where they're not solicited but can make their own choices. So hopefully we're accomplishing that mission, and again, appreciate those that help us to do that. James, let's just talk about you just for a second, maybe give a little backstory. I know you've been on a few times before, but maybe there's some people out there that have not heard you. Tell us about how you got involved in funeral services and why that's a place that you want to spend time.
Man, that's a great question. First of all, I'm really grateful to be here and grateful to be a part of Empowering Seniors. It's a wonderful organization. I love funeral work, and it's not something I had ever even thought about. I know we've talked a little bit about it, but I just kind of happened across this industry. My wife and I were newly married. We, like most newly married couples, didn't have any money, and we had an opportunity to live at a funeral home for free in exchange for helping out. So we made that decision purely based on finances, and it wasn't long into that residency there at the funeral home that I decided that I was going to cancel my master's in business and do a mortuary science degree and become a funeral director. I made that decision really based off of the fact that I love people. I love to be around them. I love to serve them. And I love to help take care of them. And really, that's what funeral work boils down to, is just you're taking care of people, not just those that have passed, but their loved ones that survived them, and you're just helping people through a difficult time.
And this was actually a funeral home in Cache Valley, correct?
Yes, Webb Mortuary up in Preston. I lived there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, let's talk about something that you have done last year for the first time that's coming up. That is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we were really, really pleased. Last year, we had this idea that we would try to do something for the families that we had served to that point. So start of December, this will be our second annual holiday concert that we're going to do. But the idea was to put something together, a nice performance, just something that families could come and enjoy, holiday music specifically, but then to tie in a very small element of, you're here during the holidays, missing your loved one, whether it was a family that White Pine had taken care of and served or not was irrelevant. We just put an invite out there in general to anybody who had lost a loved one recently. That could have been within the last few months or the last few years. It didn't matter. But we wanted to invite them to come, enjoy a free concert, essentially. But then also we had a guest speaker talk briefly about how hard that is sometimes approaching the holidays and how to manage the holidays after having lost a loved one. And it was a tremendous event. We had a lot more people there in attendance than we had even hoped for. And at the end, we invited anybody who wanted to come up and hang an ornament in remembrance of their loved one on our little remembrance tree, which stands there next to our full-size Christmas tree in the lobby. And we couldn't have been more pleased with the result as far as the people.
And here we go now this year, because we're going to do it again.
Yep.
And what's the details?
Yeah, so we're planning it December 1st, first day of the month. That's a Thursday, December 1st. We're doing back-to-back performances again. You can attend one or the other, so either at 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. The little concert maybe goes half an hour or so, and it's followed by some simple refreshments on your way out. One big thing we love to do too, we are inviting that anybody who comes to donate a food item of some sort, and we gather all that together and send it over to the Cache Food Pantry, of course, here in Cache Valley.
Is there a dress code for that or anything like that?
Nope. Really nothing at all. I'll be in a suit, I suppose.
Nothing at all.
Not nothing at all.
Okay.
That's a good point. People can come however they please. We're not, there are zero expectations. We just are happy to have anyone who's interested in coming.
So who's performing and what type of music is it?
Great question. So Jay Richards is a local Cache Valley individual who has lots of connections. He puts together a choir, a full choir and musical ensemble, a number of instruments. They kind of fit themselves nicely at the front of our chapel, and that's done at the funeral home at White Pine. Our chapel seats a few hundred people easily, and yeah, we're really excited to have Jay do that. He and his group are kind enough to do this free of charge. They don't charge anything either. It's just a really neat way for them and us to give back and to provide something wholesome and wonderful for the community.
You mentioned that there's going to be 2 performances.
Yes.
In that you had a fair amount of people come last year.
Yep.
Is there a reservation that needs to be done, or how are you managing that?
We're not actually asking that anybody make a reservation. It worked out okay that we had plenty of room both times, so even though we felt like we had a great turnout, there were still plenty of seats available. We're not concerned about not being able to fit everybody. It's really, there's a lot of space, a lot of room, and really anybody who wants to come, there'll be an opportunity and space for them to be there.
Maybe this is a good time too, James, to mention where White Pine Funeral Home is located in case, and maybe also a phone number in case somebody would like to call and has some questions for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who has a question about the event can call us at 435-709-6800. That's the funeral home phone number, 435-709-6800. Our address is 753 South 100 East, and that's just down kind of in between the Conservice buildings, right past the Marriott on the south end of Logan.
Thank you, James. That sounds like an excellent and beautiful event coming up. So again, before we step out for our first break, let me mention the date again. It's December 1st. There are 2 performances, one at 7 p.m. and one at 8:30 again. And I'd also like to mention our sponsor one more time, which is the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about them, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. We're at the end of our first segment. I hope you stay tuned because we'll be right back.
This is Brian Erickson for the Sunshine Minute. Each day, our nurses, CNAs, cooks and servers, housekeepers, laundry staff, music, recreation therapy teams, office staff, receptionists, and many more arrive around the clock. These heroes show up ready and willing to serve and protect our residents and clients. We are so grateful to our dedicated team. On behalf of the Board of Sunshine Terrace Foundation and our community, thank you to all of our employees for keeping us safe. We bring more to life together.
Hi, this is James with White Pine Funerals. We're excited to host our annual holiday concert featuring a choir and musical ensemble by Jay Richards. All are welcome to attend free of charge. We extend a special invitation to anyone who is missing a loved one this holiday season. Food donations are encouraged at the door for the Cache Food Pantry. Back-to-back performances will take place at White Pine on Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. That's Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
You have a lot of options when it comes to buying or selling a home. Do you list it online, sell it yourself, or do you have a realtor help? It's a major financial and emotional decision. A realtor is the liaison between buyers and sellers and really helps you navigate complex contracts, deadlines, and disclosures.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
I work for you to get the best outcome for your situation. Let me earn your trust with a free consultation and a free market analysis. Call me today at 512-6406. Then list it, sell it, and move on.
Whether you have a small business, large corporation, or sole proprietorship, remember Cook Martin Polson has provided quality accounting services since 1977. At Cook Martin Polson, they believe you've earned it, and they're going to help you keep it. Take a minute right now to call 750-5566. That's 750-5566 to set up your tax appointment and let Cook Martin Polson show you how to keep the money you have earned.
This is Jared Ripplinger with Cook Martin Polson. You've worked hard for your money. Let us help you keep it.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us today, we're talking with James Stevens, the funeral director for White Pine Funeral Services. And we learned that there's an upcoming concert on the 1st of December down to the funeral home, down to White Pine, which is a beautiful property. And you guys have been going for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
How's things going?
We've been there full 2 years. We opened our doors November of 2020, and we couldn't be more grateful for the showing of support that we've had from the community in Cache Valley.
James, maybe remind us a little bit about your mission statement that you have.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of were aware of the fact that there was a building there that had been built that was going to be sitting vacant, and saw that as an opportunity to open a new funeral home in Cache Valley. And really our whole mission, my partner Mark Thurston and I, we're both funeral directors who have been doing this for a little while and love what we do. We just have a lot of passion for taking care of families. We believe that every family, whatever their choice of disposition might be, whether that's cremation, burial, funeral, no funeral, it kind of is all irrelevant. We believe every single family deserves the absolute best, and however we can provide that to their liking is what we want to provide. So our mission is to be exceptional. We know there are good funeral homes in town and that they do a good job, but we want to be exceptional, to be raising the bar for funeral service, to provide the best possible experience for these families.
You know, to that point, I want to rewind just a little bit and back up to that experience you said you had when you were first married, and you made the decision to leave the path of a business degree and go into funeral services. I'm just wondering, as you look back at that, what were some of the impactful events that happened that caused you to want to do that?
Man, that's a great question. I just look back in my life at opportunities when I had chances to serve, whether that was in high school or as a missionary or through my church or whatever that might have been. That was always very fulfilling for me and brought me joy and happiness. And I always knew that I wanted a career that was more than just a job. I need something that makes me happy. My home life makes me happy, but I can't go to work and be unhappy. and I love what I do, serving families. I mean, it really brings me joy. And so I learned very quickly in those first few months of living and working up there at Webb Mortuary with those guys that taking care of people was going to bring me joy, and that's what I knew I would do for the rest of my life. So yeah.
So I'm curious too, what did your wife think when you, she must have been on board moving into the funeral home. So I get that part. But after that, when you said, I'm switching career, I'm going to do this forever or as my next thing, what did she say?
Yeah, she wasn't all on board right at first. We went and saw the place. It was a lot nicer than we had even hoped for, and decided we could manage that. My wife could deal with that in exchange for some financial assistance. So, but Yeah, it was something that she didn't plan for. She tells people all the time, I certainly didn't plan or sign up for the funeral life. It has its downsides. I'm on call 24/7. I'm always having to be available in the event that somebody has a need. And whether that's a text about, hey, how many pallbearers do we need on this program, or somebody passes and we need to go and bring them into our care and provide care work, there's always something. And that is a lifestyle. And but at the same time, she's the first one to tell people that this is something that I love, that brings me joy, and in turn brings our family happiness for sure.
So I'm curious, this experience and the way I think I understand what you're feeling. I feel the same thing about what we do. I'm curious to know how that sense of purpose drives your operations. So how does how you feel about what you do and how you want to serve, how does that translate into how White Pine performs and does its work?
Sure. I mean, having given up a business to master's degree to do this instead, I still think of myself, at least my role at White Pine. Yes, I'm a funeral director, but I also do a lot of the business and back end stuff too. So yes, we are balancing. We just want to take care of people we also have to be a profitable business to be able to be there indefinitely, right? Our whole mentality is, if we take excellent care of families and work our tails off to provide them with the best possible experience, the business will take care of itself. I know that a lot of funeral homes expect payment up front. We don't. We tell families we trust they'll come in and take care of it when they can. I don't know if that's crazy, but it's worked out for us so far. And it all starts with top-notch customer service, compassion, being upfront and transparent with families, and then trusting that the business will take care of itself. We believe if we take good care of people, the business will be okay.
James, maybe we can talk briefly about funeral plans, because we haven't touched on that at all.
Sure.
One thing that always stands out from past shows that we've done is that those are transferable, and a lot of our listeners might not know this. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
In fact, I won't use any names, but we took care of a family just this last month that had a plan with another funeral home in town. They felt that using us was kind of in their best interest. We took care of all that for them. While some of their funds were kept by that funeral home, we provide a discount equal to that on our end and essentially honor the agreement without them having to incur any additional charges for switching. And we do that for a number of families here and there. We encourage families to consider us regardless of who they may have planned with, but we can certainly take care of anyone regardless of what they may have already planned.
Great. James, before we come up on our second segment, I want to give you another chance to mention your address and your phone number.
Yeah, absolutely. We're right there on the south end of Logan. Excuse me. And the address is 753 South, 100 East. Our phone number for anything, anytime, is 435-709-6800.
Thank you, James. I want to briefly mention our sponsor again, which is the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors Group, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info, or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. This is the Senior Moment Show. We're going to take a little break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram offers free delivery service 5 days a week, Monday through Friday throughout the valley. Just stay home and they will deliver to you. With 25 different suppliers, they won't have the shortage that others might have. Also, with compounding and many other services, they will be able to serve all your needs. In order to stay safe and help slow the spread, please call Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram at 245-DRUG, and they will take care of you.
This is Mark Thurston with White Pine Funeral Services. The best time to plan is when you have time to plan. Having a pre-arranged funeral gives peace of mind for everyone involved. White Pine will customize your final wishes to fit your needs, from a traditional burial to cremation to a custom headstone. White Pine also accepts pre-arranged plans from other mortuaries, and we will absorb any transfer or revocation fees. No penalty to you. Visit whitepinefunerals.com or come and see us for more information.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Did you know that one of the greatest threats to our quality of life is a fall? 1/3 of Americans 65 and older, and 1/2 of those over 80 will fall this year. Many will never be the same again, and some will never return to their homes. This is Bruce at Comfort Care. One of the ways we can help people stay in their home is through our free in-home fall protection survey. Let us help you identify these fall risks. Call us at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
Did you know 10,000 baby boomers qualify for Medicare every day? Did you know that you'll start to get swamped with mail about Medicare 6 months before your 65th birthday? Did you also know it doesn't cost anything to use an insurance agent to help you navigate through all those offers? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. Let me help you understand all the offers you're receiving and find the plan that fits best for your situation. Call me today at 435-890-8155.
Welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. If you're just joining us, we're talking with James Stevens, funeral director with White Pine Funeral Services. I've talked about a lot of things. We're going to hit on the concert that's coming up here the 1st of December before we close the show out. But for people who maybe drive past your business a lot and have maybe wondered what it looks like inside there, do you give tours?
Absolutely, yeah. They wouldn't be the first to just
stop in when there's not a bunch of cars in the parking lot?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. If there's a bunch of cars there might be a funeral going on. But yeah, we get people that stop by, walk in, we're right there to greet them, and if they want to walk around and just ask some questions, we're happy to do that. If they want to meander without us even bugging them, that's fine too. If they want to sit down and ask a whole bunch of questions and take some time, that's great too. We encourage that, absolutely. We want people to be able to see the place. And
so, James, during the break, we talked a little bit about what things might be different around the holiday season in the funeral home, and also a little bit about custom funerals.
Yeah.
Do you ever get requests that are not so typical in this valley?
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of what we encourage families to do, and I guess what I would say is this. I mean, I don't like this phrase, but a cookie cutter funeral, there's nothing wrong with doing things traditionally and the way that it's always been done. Funerals, to me personally, as long as you have a ceremony of some kind where you're honoring your loved one and celebrating them, maybe that incorporates a religious belief, I think that's wonderful. Additionally, you can incorporate like an element of personalization for sure. And we love that. And we want families to consider that. We're always encouraging that. Absolutely.
So as you were talking about that, I'm going to hit you with a question I didn't prep you for, so I don't know where this will go. We'll see. But will White Pine work with me if maybe I don't want to use your chapel? But I want to have you help me with my services or planning or something like that. What does that look like, or have you done anything like that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some families use our chapel. There's no additional charge to use it, whether that's the chapel or a viewing room for a viewing the night before. Maybe the next day we go out to church. Maybe they want something remote up the canyon. I don't know. We haven't necessarily done that, but we would if a family wanted to. We'll do whatever families want to do. We can go wherever. It doesn't even have to be right here in Cache Valley. We've done funerals in Ogden and all over the place, wherever families want to go.
Does that require any kind of special permitting or anything like that? So you mentioned going up in the canyon. I wonder, do you have to get special permission to do something like that, or can you just do it?
If it were something that was relatively formal and in a public space like a park or something, or up the canyon, we'd just want to talk to the city and make sure that nobody was opposed to it for sure.
I'm just curious because I've talked to somebody about this. Do you ever get a private cemetery situation these days anymore, or is it mostly city cemeteries?
Private is in like the backyard, Sid, or?
Yeah, private property, obviously.
I've had a lot of people talk about it. I've never had anybody move forward with it, and probably more just because that's something that has to be disclosed when private property is being sold, and it's definitely something we would help an individual or a family look into if they wanted to. Absolutely.
So, do you have a favorite story or something? I just, the mission thing is such a big thing for me. I'm just curious is there something you could share where you could say, hey, this really helped us. This helped us hit our mission. You know, this example is something that I really felt good about.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a number of funerals over the last few years that just that stick out to me due to, ironically, that personalization factor. We just did one over the last couple months where family wanted to come up, and it was an idea I helped them come up with. Dad was a big horse and mule pack guy. He'd take the young women, young men up and he had a bunch of horses. So he had literally hundreds of horseshoes laying around. So instead of coming up and putting flowers on the casket, everybody in the family came up, grabbed a horseshoe, and hung it on the railing of the casket. I mean, moments like that are just extra, that don't really require a whole lot of effort, just a little thought and preparation, are really, really neat. Maybe grandma was a quilter, and instead of putting flowers on her casket, pick up a few of her favorite quilts, or I don't know. Just helping families think of unique ways to remember their loved one that are fitting and perfect for them. Maybe that's, her grandkids all have an opportunity to write a note and slip it into the casket before we close it, or something like that. There's just so many unique ways that families can celebrate their loved ones, and we just want to help them think of them.
Thank you, James. Sadly, we're already at the end of our show, but I do want to give you another opportunity to mention the concert that's coming up.
Yeah, so December 1st at the Funeral Home on 1st East, 753 South. That's Thursday night, December 1st, either at 7 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. We're doing two performances. Music and ensemble are by Jay Richards, the choir as well. It's an opportunity for anyone to come, but we're specifically inviting those who've lost a loved one that would like to remember them during the holidays.
Thank you, James. Thanks for coming in. Always a joy to talk to you. This is the Senior Moments Show. Again, we are sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group. If you'd like to learn more about the Empowering Seniors, you can do so online at empoweringseniors.info. We're at the end of our show, but we hope you tune in again next week.